An editor at dailycaller.com. Fox News contributor Tucker Carlson is here. She's a writer for the Daily Caller, attorney, Fox News contributor, left-winger. Tamara Holder is with us. He's a two-time Daytona 500 champion, author of the brand new book, In the Blink of an Eye, Dale, Daytona, and the Day That Changed Everything. NASCAR driver Michael Waltrip is back with us. You tell the story because you won that race.
Yeah.
And you never really talked about it.
No, it was too difficult, and I've spent the last 6 months trying to tell the story to Ellis Hannity, who co-wrote it with me, and it's been very healthy. I'm the kind of guy who just says if it's a problem or an issue, shove it to the side and forget about it, it'll go away.
Yeah.
And this certainly never is going to go away. It's a day that I have to live with the rest of my life, and so writing the book helped me to understand it a little bit better.
And this is the day he died, and it was on the last lap, if I remember.
Last lap, we were a quarter of a mile from the greatest race in the history of NASCAR. Instead, it's the worst race in the history of NASCAR. And I, unfortunately, won it.
Yeah. Well, he's going to be missed. It shows how dangerous that sport is. I'm worried about the Muslim Brotherhood. It's amazing as I watch other news channels and commentators, Tucker, they don't seem to get it.
No, they don't. And you wonder, the White House is in a tough position, but you wonder if the president gets it. Because, look, there's a lot to criticize about the current president of Egypt. However, I mean, for all his flaws, however, Mubarak is pro-American and pro-Israel, and the country has been stable, though very flawed. Taking him out, not so hard. Replacing him with someone reasonable, tall order. We should be very
impossible.
We should be very careful before encouraging the mob or anyone to knock Mubarak out of place. And it looks like it's too late. It's already happened. He's leaving.
Tamara?
Well, where do I start? I think that the Muslim Brotherhood is not the issue. The issue is the Egyptian people. They want him out, and what, he's going to leave in 8 months? That's totally unacceptable. That's like your brother who says he's going to stay on your couch for just one more night.
How could you say the Muslim Brotherhood that now has gotten on the back of what might have been a legitimate democracy movement when half the population lives on $2 a day? So there's legitimacy to their arguments. How could you say the Muslim Brotherhood, which is up to its eyeballs now in fomenting this and keeping this going, and that wants a seat at the table, and Obama says the opposition needs to be there, their commitment is to jihad and holy war, and it's an Islamic regime. You don't see the danger in that?
Yes, there's danger in that, but there's also danger in keeping somebody in power who has lied to his people, who has oppressed his people for 30 years. He said in the 80s that he was going to be there for 2 terms. Now he's been there for 30 years. That is the issue. It's not the Muslim Brotherhood. It's these people who have been oppressed.
The Muslim Brotherhood gets in there, it will be a worldwide disaster that will last for decades. And when you couple it with Iran and what's happening in Georgia and Tunisia and Lebanon and every other part of the country.
I just agree with Tucker. You know, you have to be careful what you wish for. Sure, he has flaws, but he's like a friend. You know, he's been an ally to our country. That region has been stable, so I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't think anyone does, and it's unrest. It's unsettling, obviously.
Well, for the many people who say that the point is free elections, they should be reminded that the point is a good outcome. Elections are merely a means to a good outcome. So if you have an election that results in an Islamist party, an anti-democratic Islamist party taking control, as happened in Iran, what's the point?
But you're assuming that the elections are actually run properly. In Egypt, they're not.
No, I'm saying that if you allow, it's possible in a country like Egypt, also in a country like Saudi Arabia, also in a country like Pakistan, if you let the majority of the people decide the form of government, they would wind up with a wacko, anti-Western, anti-democratic, repressive government.
The Muslim Brotherhood already said, prepare for war with Israel. 17% of the population supports the United States, but we got to take a break. We'll come back. Time to check in with Greta Van Susteren for a sneak peek of what's coming up in 20 short minutes from right now. Greta.
Sean, first we're going to find out where that weather is. That monster weather is clobbering everybody across the country, and it's going to get more, so we're going to track that. Then I got my list of all my guests. You won't believe the guests tonight. Senator Lindsey Graham, Senator Barrasso, Senator DeMint, former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, his wife Callista, Governor Brewer, Congressman Schillen. I mean, we have so many guests here that we're going to need 2 hours tonight. What?
Look what I got. Hang on.
A Packer? Is that a Packer jacket?
No, it's not a Packers jersey.
It looks green and gold.
Carol Waltrip just gave me this. How do you like that?
I know. I'm actually very jealous. That is a very cool jacket.
How cool is
you
that?
don't deserve that. I should have one of those.
I don't deserve it. What am I, chopped liver around here?
You do not deserve that. I need that. I want that jacket.
It's not going to happen. Not in a million years.
Does it come in small? Does it come in small?
It doesn't. It's too big for you. There you go. You can't have it. All right, more with our Great American panel. Greta's next as we continue. Oil $100 a barrel. You know, and maybe if the Suez gets closed off and we got to go through the Straits of Hormuz, and that's the only outlet for some of this oil. I think we could be looking at $200 a barrel, $8 a gallon for gasoline, and it frustrates me because we have more resources available in this country, and we do not use them, and President Obama's made it worse.
Well, that's a really good point. I mean, there are 2 points, but the first is you're absolutely right about Suez. There was a war over this in 1956. That's a huge, absolutely huge deal. Moreover, this is the largest Arab country. This is the country to which the rest of the Arab world looks. If this goes Islamist, who knows? It doesn't end there. But you're absolutely right. It's another indicator that domestic sources of energy are vital.
And now tell me, Ms. Liberal over here, that you would like to see oil prices lower. We have ANWR, we have the Gulf, we have the 48 states, we have oil shale, we can't build nuclear power plants, we can't expand coal mining. Environmental extremists have co-opted your president, your party. Why shouldn't we? Don't we need to drill in this country now? Don't we need, while we develop new technology? Why not?
Well, I agree with you. I think that we need to not rely on foreign sources of oil and everything else. We need to look to nuclear energy, which is something that my father's involved in, the Republican that you met.
The good guy in the family.
But that is a separate issue from the Egyptian issue. It's
not separate, because every American is going to pay higher gas prices that they don't need to pay. You know, this is, you know, look, one of the things I love about NASCAR, I went to the Daytona 500 one year, and I you know, the people that go to football games and baseball games and NASCAR, you know, they work really hard to buy those tickets. They contribute to society. They pay their taxes, obey the laws. They're now going to suffer as a result of all this because we didn't have the foresight and the wisdom to do this.
And then gas prices is the key to people having recreation, getting to go out and do things, and spending that hard-earned income on $8 a gallon gasoline is something that will kill this country, and that's coming if we don't stabilize that.
Americans have been suffering long before this Egyptian crisis. Our unemployment rates are at 10%.
Ever since Obama got president, things have gotten dramatically worse with his $5 trillion in debt that we'll have at the end of this year.
So can a weak economy take a boost in energy prices, which affect the price of everything, because of course everything gets to us because of energy, right?
Right. Everything is interrelated. But,
exactly.
But the fact of the matter is the people who are buying tickets to watch you or travel or pay for cable programming or whatever it is, they are out of work. And they are really not focused on Egypt as much as they are on getting back to work and getting health insurance and whatever else it takes to pay and put food on.
Well, then maybe they should be focused. I mean, look, maybe the point is that the aspirations of the Egyptian people are important, absolutely. But from our point of view as Americans, maybe whether or not they have an election in September is less important than how it affects our country. The point of our foreign policy is to protect American interests. And so maybe Mubarak, dictator that he may be, authoritarian that he may be, maybe he's like the best we're going to get right now. Maybe we shouldn't work to undermine him as we appear to have done.
Question. Shouldn't the President of the United States, from a moral standpoint, take a stand against the Muslim Brotherhood and say they should not come to power?
Why are you so focused on the Muslim Brotherhood?
Because they're about to control Egypt. They're leading the uprising in Jordan, in case you haven't been following the news.
I have been following the news, and I don't think that the Muslim Brotherhood is the biggest issue here. The issue is getting this president out of power who's been there for 30 years.
Who is going to replace him?
We don't know.
Okay, so to Tucker's point, what if the devil we know versus the devil we don't know?
I think that's a stretch. I mean, you're speculating here.
All right, I'm going to save this tape and bring you back. We'll give Michael the last word tonight. As I put on my racing hat, my Napa hat.
I just hope you read my book. It tells a whole lot about NASCAR, and I know a lot more about NASCAR than I do the Middle East, but I'm all about keeping that area stable, and I'm not sure you have the best idea to do so.
Okay, well, thank you.
That's all the time we have left. By the way, you're going to put a smile on your face. My buddy, Larry the Cable Guy, will get his take on the Middle East next, straight ahead.